everybody. How's it going?
What's going on, everyone?
Man, I just had a shock. I'm so happy right now.
Oh, it's going to be worth the wait, right?
Worth the wait. I promise you guys. Absolutely. We're going to start with some shout outs today. Let's get up here. Looky here. First one.
There he is. What's going on,
There
Kevin?
he is. And then my better half, Bobby.
Bobby.
And my other better half. I have a few of them by now, okay? Chris.
Watch out, Bobby.
Watch out, Bobby. Yeah, you got some competition, man.
What's going on, Will?
Mr. Will. I'm searching through here real quick, guys. I don't want to keep our guest waiting today. Gage, man, what's up? Hope all's doing good. You're doing good. Hadn't got to chat very much since I've been on vacation. So,
what's going on, Gage? We got there he is.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna click that too.
Star search 1340. Look at here.
Look who decides to join, right?
Oh my God, I'm so glad he's here.
Gracing us with his presence.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and who this guy? Oh, that's you.
Oh, that's me.
Basement Python. So glad you could make it, man. So I seen him.
What's going on, Mike?
I found him on top and started watching his videos, and like I've been following him for a really long time. Probably from his beginning. Basement Pythons on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have Charlie tonight. Hi, Charlie. Glad you can join us.
Oh, there he is. What's going on, Charlie?
Mike. All right, guys. Well, I'm not going to leave our guest waiting, and I'm just going to pretty much turn it over, and what happens tonight is going to happen. It's definitely worth the wait.
Absolutely.
Hello, everybody.
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Smiles right now.
Sorry, Holly, but had some visitors.
Yes.
Thought that, look at there.
That's
Look
a
there.
beauty shot right there.
I'm a little nervous right now.
Beautiful.
I needed the support.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you did. Well, I know Ren's right there. Ren's right there going to keep it
standing.
And then we've got a couple of my students here. They're going to come around. What are they doing?
What are they getting? What are they getting credit?
No, they're already. These are two seniors. This is actually the administration here. Got Lena. Come on up here, Lena.
Hi.
Nice
Lena.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
She's the president. She'll be student number 1 in the chat.
Okay.
Student number 2.
I didn't even enter the chat.
Well, you need to get into the chat. And that's Grace. She's the vice president of the club.
How you
And
doing,
they're
Grace?
here to graduate. So yeah, I thought it'd be good to kind of see and maybe let them kind of share some of their insights after our first year of what we're doing here in the classroom.
That's
Absolutely. Awesome. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you.
Bobby, this is my very first year having snakes.
Awesome. Me too.
And that's why I have so many of yours in my rack right now, right?
Yeah, it's very nice to meet you guys. Holly talks about you all the time.
I do.
So
I do.
Very nice to meet you.
That's because I'm fat and sexy.
Well, we're all a little fat.
That's great. I do love bragging about the stuff I've gotten off of y'all, and trying to teach people about it as well. And I could give you a few numbers of some people that want some of the access pretty bad right now, so you just have to wait in line.
It's a waiting list, that's for sure.
Yep.
Long line.
I'm working on it, Earl.
For sale right now.
There you go.
All right.
We haven't.
All right, sold.
He's just eating, but see if he's eating, but he's So what do you want to talk about?
Hey, I want to talk about your class, what you're teaching the kids. I want to speak with them as well if they would like to. And
Sure, they don't shut up, those two.
Are we talking about- No.
No, not
do they,
Oh,
do they have,
you should have heard us earlier.
you said they graduated already, or they're about to graduate?
Correct. So these two young ladies have been in the club for, this is the second year, right?
Yeah.
And so we started in 2021 and officially, really the whole snake thing. I've been here at this school now. This is the end of my 4th year.
Right.
And I was out of the classroom for a long time. And when COVID came right before, I had an opportunity to come and teach at the school that my sons go to. And I'd been traveling a lot and seeing him maybe 2 days a week. And then I got to see him every day. So that was not a hard decision to make.
That's awesome.
And so we went to a show because I always wanted to have, when I taught before, I had animals in the classroom and I figured I'd do it again. So we went to an RBC and a couple others and picked up a few snakes. And so, not thinking about breeding, and you can tell by the selections. We had a male pinstripe, which we thought was a female. That's how it was sold to us. That's a whole nother story. We learned a lot, but with that snake, and a pastel. Those were the two snakes we had. And then a few months later, we got another cinnamon, and then a normal het hypo, which at that point I didn't care. It just was cool and it was cheap. All males. And so kids really, we had a kind of a hybrid model here at the school. And so there were kids online and kids here. And so I treated them differently. So the kids online, I took care of them first. And then the kids that were here, we started doing different things. And so it was my AP biology class that really started the whole thing. The kids in that class, we were getting into genetics. And the best way to do that would be to, look at snakes. And so they were getting socialized with the snakes as well. They'd come in and just want to hold the snakes, or, they'd do their homework here in the room. If they had an off period, they'd hang out here and hold a snake and do homework. And so they were really getting to like it. And even as a kind of tool to kind of calm you down, the kids, juniors and seniors at this school, probably at every school, there's a lot of stress because, they're doing, especially the juniors are doing applications or starting applications. Seniors are coming in that year, really trying to finish out applications. And these kids don't apply to 1 or 2 schools. They're like applying to 15, 20 schools. And it's crazy. It's a lot of work. And so the snakes were doing that. They were kind of this kind of outlet for them, which was great. And then I got a couple more, actually traded some drones for my first recessives, which were, I actually had our first recessive was a piebald too. We bought that. And then I got a hypo and and a female piebald. And so that really helped the genetics and really started teaching that and being able to visualize things. One of the assignments I had was for them to come up with potential pairings and have, do the Punnett squares, multiple gene kind of pairings, and come up with the probabilities and those kinds of things. And so they did, and they came up with some pairings. And then I had them kind of collaborate with Justin. So they sent their pairings and things. And I said, hey, could you give them some feedback on that? And he loved it. And he gave them feedback. And next thing you know it, they were pushing me to start breeding. And so,
and nobody had to twist your arm, right?
Yeah, I'm sure, right?
no, I was, I love these animals. I love all animals. But
absolutely.
But I was learning more about, I forgot how much I liked them, and I needed them, especially in the classroom, because I was able to use them as a crutch for myself in teaching. So, and I had iguanas before. I had a great iguana, Jub that would spit on kids in the corner. So it was kind of my
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. But I didn't think that would go over. That was an urban kind of school, and so I didn't think that'd go over here with a spitting iguana. But but I do have a beater dragon that poops on people, so that's next best thing.
Poops on me.
Right.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Well,
Trust me.
I'd like to say a testament for this girl here. When I mean, just a few years ago, she wouldn't touch an animal. And when we walked up today, all she could talk about was this snake that she was cleaning the cage, and it was everywhere. She's excited to clean cages, and that's amazing to me what he's doing with these girls. It really is. It's amazing.
Yeah, and what's crazy about it is it's mostly girls.
Oh wow,
that's phenomenal.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
it's
shocked
crazy.
the first time I come over here. I was expecting to see a pretty diverse crowd, and there was like 2 guys, and they were operating the computer. They weren't messing with the animals.
That was
All the girls were playing with the animals.
yeah, we needed them tonight, but
True.
yeah, so that led to, the way I kind of incorporated it. I said, all right, come up with a plan. Because they were seniors, they were leaving. And I said, come up with a plan. What snakes, what would you want to produce in 3 years, let's say? And of course, they picked dreamsicles. And right. And so that led to some unfortunate events, being able to get certain snakes. And we at that point, I was more purposeful, listening to a lot of people, getting a lot of advice. We had a big, live back in September, and that helped to kind of really focus things. And so this guy right here has been a huge inspiration and just, mentor, kind of just amazing.
So how did you meet Earl?
How did I meet
You actually reached out to me.
Mhm.
He actually reached out to me. It was back in September.
Yeah.
And wanted to know if I'd be interested in coming over here and doing a live, because the girls were coming up with these projects, and they were going to show the projects that they were working on. It was like me, Billy, I don't remember who all
Brian
it
was on there. Brian was on there.
Yeah, there were several, and we would
Brian.
all talk about those
Brian,
particular projects, how we felt about them, if they should go a different route, or, and and I've actually donated some animals to help the program.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's been a huge help, because we all of this is pretty much funded by me.
Right.
And
You
so
did no fundraisers or anything?
well, actually we were able to do that. This is our axis. It's a black pastel axis.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this was, and we're already pairing him up. He's a trooper, this guy. This is Hagrid.
I love that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Little Harry Potter.
Yeah, all of our snakes. So the first round of snakes were all named after Lord of the Rings and Hobbit characters. So we have Gandalf the Grey, which you'll see here probably. And then this year, year 2, every animal that we brought in or hatched were Harry Potter. And so we do have one Game of Thrones person. That's because the snake was a loner, and then the guy, he's okay, but he had COVID, and his kids didn't want to take care of the snakes anymore, and he ended up giving us an adult female lavender albino, and I didn't want to change the name. Her name was Daenerys. So we have Daenerys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clearly the most important.
Yeah, this is our very first one out of the this is Mocha. So our first pairing was a female het pied that we actually got donated to us, mainly because of Justin's Patreon. I was on that trying to get as much information as I could, and just hanging out in the chat, the lowest level I was on. But I was getting a lot of info, and we were talking about stuff, and next thing you know, the guy called me. Justin, one of the things Justin said in the feedback was that you gotta get a het pied female to go with that visual pied that you have, that visual male, because the kids got to see some recessive stuff coming out. That's going to really get them going. And so next thing I know, somebody was calling me up, and he was wanting me just to pay shipping for this 2,500 gram female.
Wow.
Who then gave us, and what was awesome about her, I'm looking at the charts, this many days for this, and look for this, and she did everything. I could check it off. I'm like, this is a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then she, the incubator, I got a sea serpent's incubator, and next thing you know it, she gives us 10 eggs. 6 of them are het pied, 4 of them were visual. which was great because the Punnett squares didn't work out that way, right? We were supposed to get half and half, and so the kids got to see that. But we've been working on these projects now, and we've called them now in the second year kind of a legacy project. And so now we have a lot of freshmen in the club, and they're actually taking herpetology, the classes I teach and stuff. And so the idea is these girls are kind of leaving a legacy project. So, something that can kind of be done in 3 to 4 years, if, we could, so that by the time they graduate, they kind of finish it. And so this year, the first legacy project, of course, was the dreamsicles. And we have a 25% chance of getting it because we were able to, that pairing, and we pushed the girl. I mean, she got to wait, and we didn't like to power feed or anything like that because we don't have to rush.
Exactly.
Like most people have to just to get them sold and stuff. But so we have a blackhead. I'm gonna get Galadriel out. We had a blackhead lavender albino female, and we het pied, and we paired her with a male pied het lav. So 25% chance that we're going to get what we want, but we also are. You got her?
So whenever you do hatch out eggs, you had told me before, the students that you give the students, with their parents' permission and everything.
There's
what you make.
This is Galadriel,
right?
And I don't want to mess with her too much right now because.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Let me put you on the blast here.
Yeah, so the graduate, like Holly was saying, the graduating class or whatever, and everything you have, and you have babies and everything. Do you let them take them home, or like a parting gift, a graduation present?
Yeah, that go over well at home.
Well, I mean, if somebody, if the if the parents,
no, yeah,
they had cool parents.
Right.
Yeah. So one of the things so I do these camps in the summer. So we had 6 normals het pied, and we didn't need those.
Right.
But they're great snakes, and that's all I cared about. And the kids that mocha was the first one out of the egg, and it has been held every day. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm here. I mean, just it's crazy. It's crazy. They're all that way. And so, three or 4 of the girls adopted snakes.
That's great.
And with the whole purpose of taking them with them to college. Matter of fact, I had students who were calling up colleges and basing their selection if they would allow a snake in the dorm.
Like that.
Crazy.
Yeah. What's better than that,
Exactly.
And I mean, you're saying that somebody was, like scared, or not scared, but like iffy about holding a snake or anything. And you're learning now husbandry and pairing and genetics, and I mean, it's just amazing the steps that you can go, that they're going through to
and that's Paul, that's exactly what they do. They can't just take a snake. They can't just say, ooh, I like it. That's the problem, right?
Exactly.
They go to a show, they see a snake, and next thing they know, they buy it, and it's a few years later it's 10 feet long, and then we have all these issues.
Do they have a set snake that they pay attention to in the class?
Correct. They just attach themselves to a snake, and they'll tell you, oh, this one likes me. This one remembers me. I'm like, sure, whatever.
Sure it does. Yes.
Whatever, and then you start seeing that when they are with the same person, you're wondering, that's crazy because it's responding different to that person than it is to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so it's just crazy. I'm not going to write any papers on that, but that's what they have to. They have to learn the husbandry. They have to clean them. They have to be able to feed, we feed everything frozen thawed, but we start out live, just like everybody says to do, start out live, but we feed them frozen thawed because I can't raise rats here or anything like that.
That'd be a whole nother issue, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, eventually I'd like to do it, but I'm pushing it as it is. They still think I have 4 snakes in here.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable, right? Yeah. It's sneak past your boss. That's what you're doing, huh?
He does my
talking, and you were saying that you're kind of running out of room now in your racks, like they're full.
Yeah. So the adoption has helped. We've been able to sell a couple. We're not pushing the sale, but we just try to sell.
You keep moving forward.
You're hiding your students. We're like trying to scoot over so you wouldn't hide us.
Oh, I'm leaning in. I'm sorry.
So every time they're scooting over, you keep going over.
We're all gathered around. It's like a little fireplace, you know, when you're doing this.
You just moved on, Grace, again.
I'm
Stop
sorry.
doing it.
All right, you ready? Maybe we can pull it forward like this.
Everyone stay in your spots.
Okay, I'm trying to. I'm Italian. I talk with my hands and I move my head.
Okay.
It's what it is. So yeah, so basically they have to do all that. They have to learn husbandry. They have to learn how to feed. They have to be comfortable feeding a live one, because if they need to do it, you know, they just can't forget. And that's Grace right there.
Hi, Grace again.
So that helped, you know, but most of the kids that adopted them in school, only 1 or 2 of them took them home. So that was a benefit too. Just not, you know, learning that, all right, I want to do this. I want to have snakes, but right now, not now.
Right.
Which is that's more mature than most adults are making when they're buying these animals.
Especially me.
I got bad choice. I'm like, I'll take that one. I like that one. Yeah.
Well, but at least you can keep them. At least you know what to expect, right? I'm talking about people who
Don't go to
That's
Earl's
the
house
people
with
that's my
money in your pocket. Don't go to Earl's house with money in your pocket.
No,
When you leave, you will have empty pockets.
No money.
He will sell you.
Yeah.
Even
So-
if you don't have money, you'll live with one most.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny.
Tickling my
Oh,
ear.
Bobby. Okay, so I'm guilty of this. He'll be at work or something, and I call Bobby up. And I'm like, did a thing,
can't
and he
tell
already
it.
knows right then. Right then, there's a snake being bought. He doesn't care. He's just like, okay. So, yeah.
Have you spoken to Charlie?
Yeah, and I plan on talking to him more.
Right.
I've been following the stuff he's doing, and yeah, we can get into the genetic testing here in a sec. But yeah, it's crazy that we've moved in a year that we're talking about that kind of stuff happening in the classroom, and so I'm excited about that. But you know, as far as the adoption, I also do camps in the summer here at the school, herpetology
awesome.
camps, and then that's where most of the snakes were adopted from. You know, all the kids can. I ask them, why are you taking this camp? And they say, because they want a snake. So what's preventing you from getting a snake, Mom? All right. So the first thing we need to do is teach Mom how to like the snakes.
Yes.
And so, you know, you need to be educated and you need to learn these things. And actually, there were 3 snakes that were adopted, and one person wanted a piebald. And so I don't adopt those because I didn't know what, you know, those are snakes that were for projects.
Right.
But when we started, and that's when we did the live, you know, we were trying to see, all right, how many of these do we need? You know, can we get rid of some of these? And we did. And we just kept one female back. And that's basically it. And now we just try to sell so I can buy food.
Right.
You know, we try to be as efficient as possible. We started with cocoa and all the different types of bedding and substrates and stuff, and paper, and you know,
What
I
do you
use
guys like
corrugated.
better? What's easier for you guys?
Well, right now, you know, we were just using corrugated cardboard, rolls of it that you can buy very, very cheap. And it was really great. I mean, it was different than like a regular, I had like the liners that you buy. Who's that?
Mhm.
Who's that? Like, yeah.
CNC.
Yeah, CNC, the brown ones.
See, I tried those brown ones too, and it doesn't seem like they absorb much. Like
They don't, and they mold up too. And
right.
so
And I mean, I actually had tried these. I like these a little better. The only problem is they don't go up the sides.
yeah, so what I do, let me show you.
Oh my God, you can see Grace.
Hi, guys.
Hey guys.
Don't just take Grace her.
We laughed that there's a 65-inch TV right behind us that we couldn't get to work. But, anyway,
there we go.
so there you
Yeah.
So we use this right. Well, we were using this. It's just corrugated. You buy it in the roll, by the roll, and we cut it to size, and then you can bend it up like this, you know, and then it goes up the sides. You see that?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So you can
Oh,
do
yeah.
that. And so that worked for a while. And it was good. And you know what? It was really good on the snakes were shedding real nicely. They could shed anywhere because this is kind of rough. I don't know if they like it or it tickles them or what, but they liked it. But then, you know, we just try different things. That's what we try to see what's working. It's part of it. You know, we're just, of course, I want to be as cheap as possible, but I also want to be what's best for the animals as well. And so now we're in a combination.
You learned to cheat from me.
Yeah. Now I'm using this stuff, just shredded paper. I get it from the shredder in the copy room, and I use that in the back. And you know, I'm thinking I just put that in the back so they can control the temperatures more. You know, not for nothing, but these PVC racks, I like them. I mean, they're great.
They hold a lot of heat and humidity.
Well, it's hard to really get them from, even though you know you have that one strip of tape, and to you know, I can have a variation of a lot, maybe 2 or 3 degrees.
Right.
So, and I found that's okay. They're eating fine, they're digesting fine, you know, but I don't understand how it can go and change from one rack, not one rack, because I'll have them stacked as well. But
it's a lot to do with this room, the temperatures in this room.
Yes.
So my facility being a lot hotter, I don't have that problem. But when you get the room cooler, they won't allow you to go, but so low, so low. So that's a big deal. You know, like we run 82 degrees in our room, so having 89 degrees in the racks, I'm not getting all the humidity like that. You know, and my room's super humid anyway. I mean, we pull humidity out, but
do you run humidifiers, Earl?
No, I run dehumidifiers.
That's what I meant. That's
live in Texas.
Dehumidifier, yeah.
About 60 to 70 liters of water out a day.
Hold on. So you're telling me that you're actually taking the tubs out and dumping them out, or you have
the dehumidifiers are pulling that much water out of the building.
That's
so.
Okay.
What we did is we when we built the room, I had all kinds of issues with my last snake building. So I came in and after we sheetrocked, we sprayed the whole walls and ceiling with rhino bed liner, 1/4 inch thick. Then I textured and painted over that. Then we laid a rubber floor down. So basically I got a rubber room. So when I finally go crazy, I can just go in there and bounce off the wall.
I join you.
But what it did was it
sealed
all your PVC cages. Think about it, a glass cage, I mean, it sucks, you know, but you put them in a PVC cage and your humidity goes through the roof. Well, that's what we were looking at. A rubber room is no different than PVC. And we created a lot of humidity, and it's easier to pull it out than it is to put it in. So now if I had it to do over again, I don't know that I'd do the rubber floor, but I would do the rubber walls and ceiling again and just put down a like I have a wood floor now in there, and it's kind of settled it down some, but we're still pulling out a lot of water every day.
Right. So Joe,
Aspen.
this question.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Earl.
We use aspen to help dry out the tubs. You know, we tried coconut, and oh my goodness, my tubs were like dripping.
Oh, I was gonna say, that must have, yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So we started, using aspen, and we just stuck with aspen. You know, the venomous stuff we keep on coconut substrate, but it's in the house, so it's a whole lot different. In the house, we can't keep the humidity up, so we do use coconut in there, and then like the scaleless, we just use straight paper.
For scaleless stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joe, I was going to ask you, Joe? I know you have to pay. It's on you. You know all the costs for your stuff. Do you have anywhere people can donate money?
No.
Well, I think we really need to set you something up, because I know you're needing a professional rack at this point.
Well, we've are thinking about that. That's the entrepreneurial part. I'm putting that on the kids. And so they're looking at stores, where people can buy a shirt. Yeah. But they can also buy a rat, something like that. We went to a car show, and the kids make jewelry. And so they make jewelry, and we've been able to get money that way. some grandparents of our people have purchased lots of jewelry. Yeah, so we'll they'll make, but basically from all the
Yes. Look, hang on just a sec.
yeah, from all of the
Sheds.
shed
that's cool.
skins that we have,
Yeah.
Luna and Grace made a lot of them.
Oh,
And
wow.
300 pieces.
yeah, Lena is like
300
a
pieces.
jewelry machine. And so
So
we
how much
went,
it does sell for?
well, we actually, we went to a car show. Lena's dad was able to get us a table at the car show. We couldn't sell snakes or even take snakes with us, but we told them what we had, and we had pictures and stuff. But we had jewelry all over the table, and the kids, there were about four freshmen and them. And Lena takes it home. She does it in her sleep. I mean, she just is like a machine. It's like a sweatshop I have going here.
No, it's not. It's just.
Every time I come here, they put me in the corner.
You need to get Earl over there working too.
You come in the classroom, that's it.
I've been cleaning poop for 2 years for free.
Yeah, she's been cleaning poop for
Right.
2 years.
For free.
Yeah.
President role.
That's that's what you got to do, But
Absolutely.
but we cleared about, I buy all the stuff, so there's some risk there. Lena, she'll buy stuff too. I tell her not to, but she does. And then but there's a lot of people that are supportive. We were able to do fundraisers, sell jewelry here on campus, and then we did bake sales and things like that in year one. Then we got a new CFO, and a lot of the the rules and stuff got more rigorous, and rightly so. So that's just the way it is. But again, we're in no rush to do things. We don't have to have. If I have to feed every 2 weeks, I feed every 2 weeks.
Right.
That's
Well, see, that's where I like to say something with feeding every week. It just seems like your quality of snake is better. They get more used to it, and it just builds. I don't even know how to explain what I'm talking about, because I have customers also that can't afford to buy rats for a week or two. And I'm like, hey, that's fine. Come here. I will hook you up. You can pay me later. And it just, for a healthier snake, if you're on a breeding program, it's not like you're feeding them 2 or 3 snakes a week or whatever, or rats a week. But back to what I was asking, how much are your necklaces? How much did they sell those?
It just depends. They're usually, $10.
I don't.
We were able to, there's a nature center here that bought a bunch, love actually, Lena volunteers there. And so
now
they bought a
that's
bunch.
35.
Yeah, we could probably sell them for more, but again, we started doing this just selling it to kids here for Christmas gifts. Faculty would purchase things, and then when we went to the show, we just kept it the same, because it's as long as we were making the money back, that's the key.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not killing me. Rats are not killing me. Rodent Pro is giving me wholesale prices. So that's nice,
Right. That's cool.
And and other people have, are working on things to help with rats and stuff like that. So it's not killing me. But we're staying small. We have 53 snakes in here right now.
Right.
I probably should only have maybe 20. So
And they think how many? And they think you have 4?
Well, sometimes they ask, but I don't. Really,
it's only 3.
I tell them to come in and check. But you see, it's a great thing, because the administrators they don't like snakes. So when they evaluate me or observe me, they just stay at the door, and they just look in.
Oh, well, that's really good for you.
That's a home run.
Okay. No, but we get a lot of support. This room is 76, 77 degrees. They, so the facilities make sure that this room isn't freezing like all the other rooms.
That's
And
awesome.
so-
That's cool.
It's dangerous.
I think we need to try to raise some money on this podcast. If we get enough, I'll shave my head.
I will
Let's
too.
do it.
I'll do
Oh
that.
my
too.
goodness.
Jesus,
Oh my
everybody's
goodness.
bald. Yeah.
I'll get the drill out and put a buffer on it and buff them.
Too late.
But I would like for you to start something that,
Yeah.
I'm sure Paul would like to work with us that can help you guys out, because I love what you're doing. I would have given anything to be able to do that in school.
Oh, that would
And
have.
that's something that keeps the kids, very interested. Like
I would
we
have
didn't
never
have anything like that.
I would have never cut school. I would have been
Exactly.
where I would have been.
I'm good sitting right here.
There you are. Now you're in the picture. No, and I appreciate that. And I'm going to tell you, there's amazing people out there. The first year, Ray from Alluring Serpents, that
Yes,
guy,
love Ray.
Ray's
amazing.
a good
It
guy.
was amazing what he did. He got us an ultrasound, just changed the nature of the course. I mean, it was fine in year one, watching the behaviors and doing all that stuff. But then, honestly, sometimes it was like, all right, same thing going on. But now I can whip out the ultrasound and now we're pretty good at it. And we can look at, the development of the follicles, and sometimes they want to use it to ultrasound their neck and stuff like that. But it's still, they're learning to do. I had a student who was deathly afraid of snakes. Over the course of 3 days of her independent study, she has been coming in here, and she's now has her favorite, and she thinks it looks like her. And
The snake looks like her.
I'm serious, and it kind of does. But she, I asked her if she would help me with the ultrasound machine, and she was like, "What?" And all she did was hit the freeze button, but it was like, amazing for her, and she was telling everybody about that. Well, yesterday I got to hit the freeze button for the ultrasound, and so. And then now we're seeing the girls know how to do it. They've been working on that. And so they've got that experience. But then, when you're seeing these little things and you're like, oh, cool, we're seeing them. And then all of a sudden you see them and they're 32 millimeters and you're like,
Yeah.
wow. And so, and we're able to tell the snakes that have reabsorbed, and which is good because we're like, we don't need to pair that many anyway, because I only have like 8 slots left in my hatchling rack. So yeah. But I want to make sure that I communicate those concerns to the kids, right?
Yeah.
You can't just go and
Absolutely.
buy everything. And I'm the biggest culprit. Earl sends out a list. Hey, here's a list of females. Like, ooh.
Yeah.
Get on Earl's list.
It seems like a bad list. Don't give me that.
Yeah, it's a bad list. It's a bad list.
We'll donate
And then I tell him no. Yeah, then I tell him no, and next thing you know, he comes with 2 bags of snakes. But
It's consistent.
yeah,
In the last 2 years, there have probably been about 10, 15 times where I'm like, so this is our last snake, right? And he shows up 2 weeks later with another snake. And I'm like, so that was our last snake,
Impossible
right?
to say this is your last snake.
well, I don't say it's my last snake.
I
I just,
Well,
I kind of
no,
do say
no,
that.
no, you're saying I'm not gonna get another snake after this.
I'm
No,
not
no,
buying
no.
anymore.
3 weeks later.
Well, I wasn't. I had a lot of control with Earl, and I told Earl, I said, well, listen, I'm saving up for a clown pied because we've got this clown pied project, and this clutch is probably going to go. So we're going to have a bunch of double het clown pieds, and so I'm going to get a visual. And he says, call me. So I call him.
Oh,
And, next thing you know it, he's got 2 double het clown pieds that have a couple of codoms, like a banana and then a pastel yellow belly. So now that just catapults us ahead, because before we would have just had clown pieds,
right.
but now we're going to have some codoms with it. Our clown is a blade, but it's just a regular, it's just a regular pied, beautiful, but regular. And so that, and they're older, they're almost ready to go, those 2 males. And so now that helps.
One of them is producing plugs.
Yeah, one of them is producing plugs. So now
Wow.
I can, in that project, when I'm wondering, should I buy a male or a female visual clown pied? Well, I've got these 2 males. Now I know I'm going to have to save a little bit and get those and get the female. And so, those help.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the banana double het.
Oh, yeah.
And then the pastel yellow belly is right here. Beautiful snake. It's just beautiful.
Very.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Really on the sides too. Let's see the yellow.
You want me to get airborne?
Yeah.
You could probably do that
Yeah.
with Mocha.
So that's that's huge. That's huge for us. And now that project, could potentially, once I get the visual, and who knows, I mean, maybe I can get a visual female a little bit bigger, but it's gonna, in 2 years, 2 or 3 years, we could have that project for those freshmen done, and so that would be cool. if it works out.
Absolutely. So
Yes.
can you show us some snakes that you have for sale?
I love the progression.
Sure.
I'm for sale.
Gee,
Ren said no, he's not.
Cheap or what? What do we got? Can I do payment plans?
he cooks and cleans and does too. But he dare not mess with my washer and dryer
One.
Oh,
because he can't operate
All
it.
the clothes go
gotta
on
be-
one load.
He's
I
like,
don't understand the
"They-
separating.
Your washer and dryer looks like a cockpit of an airplane. So no, we don't have to.
He turns everything orange, right?
Pink.
Pink. I got you. So as far as selling snakes, we're holding back a lot.
Right.
We can, but so we have. You want to get like Ginny, like the leopard.
Lily.
Okay, Lily. So we've got
Lily and,
this these are, we've got a couple of these. These are leopard enchi het clowns. So we've got a couple of these. Pretty ones right here.
very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And head
Just,
pod,
another simple. I mean, again, the head stamp on, a really nice head stamp on that.
I'm taking my spotlight.
Okay.
You go right
There we
there.
go.
Here's Jenny.
There's Jenny. That's another one. So we've got these two that were both female. So we're doing that. We have potentially some cypress pinstripes that
I
will.
love Cypress.
Yeah. You
Oh, I do too. And
Yeah.
I like this stripe too.
Hey, Fluffy and
Fluffy's right here.
we have Fluffy.
Fluffy. Already out.
Pull out Fluffy and Sybil.
Would you say Fluffy and what? Sybil?
Sybil, yeah, those are two Harry Potter. Fluffy's the
Fluffy's the
three-headed dog.
Oh, that's
Yeah, this is Fluffy. Here, take this one back. So this is Fluffy. Dad was a Cypress pinstripe het lav, and mom was a granite, a yellow belly, which we found out later. So,
look at that side.
so really pretty snake here. Cypress, you can tell because of the head blushing there. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that head? Ooh, let me get it right there. That's a pretty snake, but don't
Yes,
do them yet.
it is.
So I want to wait on that one. So with this one, you can, and then Cypress because it has the white around the alien heads.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what that white is, but I don't know. Is it yellow belly, that flecking? I'm not sure, but I don't think it is.
No.
You
But I'm gonna
got the master right behind you. It's him.
No.
No, he said no.
No.
If I knew it's not.
Quick
But
and easy.
this,
Nuh-uh.
This is this girl is, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So this one actually was a surprise. So this is actually, I'm going to just go out and say it because people always love to say it. But we looked up this snake and we haven't been able to find anything like it. So this is is it? Oh yeah, she is, yeah.
She peeing
So
on
let
you?
me show you really close before she poops on the laptop. And don't push anything down. Why are you pushing it? She's pushing it.
All the times Mushu has spoke on me.
Don't push. Get out of here, kid. But anyway, you can see the yellow coming up, but the granite, you definitely see the granite in the
Oh, I can
alien
see it.
head. It's beautiful
Yeah.
snake.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and she's so she's basically Cypress. She is pinstripe.
belly?
She is
Pretty.
yellow belly. She is granite. And then because
Tested positive for-
because we are doing the genetic testing, we actually know now that she's top. See how
She's
these
what?
kids, they have no respect. Hey, there's one thing I can't teach is
Respect your elders.
goodness.
You said she was
I was paying her to do it.
Pear and rats. No. She is yeah, so we didn't know because it was 100% het. Dad was 100% het lab, so she's pos pos lavender albino. But because we did the genetic testing, we know now that she is lavender albino. Now we're not selling it, but we were able to prove that out, at least with the testing that we did. We're pretty much, it's not that hard to do in a AP biology, biotech kind of lab that I have and the equipment that we have. And so, but anybody can do it at their kitchen table. Matter of fact, I set up a kitchen table over there because we're going to start making videos, not to tell people you need to do this yourself. Because the last thing we want to do, I mean, we're not going to do this for people. We're
causing waves.
Yeah, we're not going to do any of that. But hey, how are you? Yeah, security's going to kick me out. No, we're going to, no, I know you're not kicking me out. We'll set the alarm. Don't worry about it. Yeah. You want to hold a snake? No, he ran.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
I wish we'd have had that on video.
That was a
we're
big negatory.
You ran out.
Yeah, we're still up at the school. Who's this? Oh, this is Dad. Yeah, this is Dad. We're a little. No. Yeah, she's right. So this was Dad, but yeah, we just want to be able to kind of, so when they say genetic testing, what is that? And we want to be able to teach people in a very kind of fun way what the process is and what's actually happening in your snake when you talk about mutations and when you're doing genetic testing, what's actually happening in a way that people can understand.
Right.
And then and show how we're doing it. I'm not doing step by step. Although if people want to know how I'm doing it, it's fine. But the people who are doing this regularly and professionally, they have a lot more accurate equipment. They are doing it more often. I have high school students doing it, so there's more chance for error. And so that's why we won't count it as a het lavender albino until we pair it to something else.
Until we prove it out.
Oh,
until we prove it out. So, but we're saying it to us, and we had controls in place. The protocol was clean. The bars were clean in the electrophoresis. Our PCR went well. And so we think it's a valid test. But again, it's just what we did in the class. But the kids loved it.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, and so in my biotech class, they're the kids that did it. Lena's in the biotech class. We started out with extracting DNA from salmon testes, and so actually we started out making cheese, but then we went to salmon testes.
I don't think I want to know what that is.
So it was fun, but so I taught them these skills first, and then we started bringing some content into it. And why not bring the snakes in, And so when I saw Dr. Seidel, I believe it was on Brian's show the first time, I immediately contacted her and said, "Hey, I'd like to take your university level protocol and kind of retrofit it to a high school biology classroom, that a teacher would be able to do it." And so that's what we're working on. So she sent us the control DNA. So we knew that when we did get lavender albino, we had a control that was proven lavender albino that we can. So, and basically if the DNA lines up base pair wise to the control, you pretty much, it's not rocket science, it's DNA science, right. but that's what it's like. And so, yeah, so that's what we're doing. That's, and it's been awesome. So the kids love it because they pick their snake. What snake are you testing? And we collected the shed, and then they did we've been trying different extraction protocols to actually get the DNA out. I know some people who have done this, I assumed they were doing it the same way with sheds, but they were actually using swabs from inside the snake's mouth.
Okay.
And that's a classic DNA extraction lab that's done in biology labs. The kids take a toothpick or something and scrape the inside of their cheek, and then they extract DNA from it. And so, but we did it with the sheds, just like, I don't know, I think Charlie's doing with sheds as well.
Yeah, Charlie, you got to send the shed in. Yep, for Charlie.
Yeah. I want to learn how he's doing his visualization. What when he provides.
Is there a program? Some kind of program? Is that what?
Yeah, probably. I don't. There's one that I used to use a long time ago, but I don't know if it's the same thing or a newer version of it.
So, which one do you think is more accurate?
I think they can both be accurate. It's I think they can both be accurate. I think it comes down to error is going to come from the project, from the protocol, from actually doing the work. You can introduce all kinds of
from like a specimen. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or contamination.
Right.
I'm a big believer in controls. So you have positive controls and negative controls, and so we want to run those at the same time, and those help us see what should happen in a positive result and what shouldn't happen in a negative result.
Mm-hmm.
And so and that also tells you if your samples are correct. These kids are they're using 5 microliters worth of, that's a very small amount of DNA in solution, and they're moving it from a tube and then putting it into a PCR machine. They have to have a cycler, that changes the heat and cycles temperatures over time to amplify the sample, because you don't just take the DNA and then test it. You've got to amplify it. So there's a lot of copies of that DNA to then run on gel electrophoresis, is what we do. So it's tough. It's difficult. That's why of the 6 snakes I think we tested, we got good results on 4, and the others were fuzzy and stuff, and controls were not there. And so sometimes the kid forgot to maybe label the control, and so we know we were looking at. And so it's but they'll get better at it. We're going to do it a couple more times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey Earl, what do you think about the genetic testing? I'm not. You taking advantage of it as?
I'm not.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I believe that genetic testing is a good thing and a bad thing. There's a lot of scams going on now, and with the genetic testing, say somebody is selling triple hets, and they used POS hets to make them, and they had stuff tested. 5 of them are triple hets, 2 of them are double hets, and 2 of them are non-het at all. What's to say that person is not going to give you the results from the good ones and sell you the bad snakes? I mean, there's so much stuff going on now. I think really and truly, to do it right, I think there needs to be pictures of each and every animal with the sheds sent in. And when you get the paperwork back, it should have that picture of that animal on the paperwork. That way, when you sell the animal, they see that it's that animal,
I like that's kind of like if you're buying like autographed pictures and everything, you have the authenticity of it. I got you. Yeah. I mean, there's also,
but I was scammed early on with hets and 20 years ago. There was a lot of scammers going, and there still is to this day, and it's really sad. But when you start looking at quadruple hets and quints and stuff like that, I mean, there's a lot of money in that, and so people are going to take advantage of that.
I hear you.
It's very unfortunate, because the people that, like us that are, way up there in like the quad het game, first off, I'm not selling any. I'm keeping every last one of them, but, I didn't make them to sell. I made them for myself. I've always been in the long game of everything I've done. I'm working with 5 and 6 codoms on 3 recessors right now.
Wow.
You're looking at 2,048 to 1 odds. So the odds of you hitting that stuff are slim to none. It may take 10 years to actually get what you're after, but all the stuff in between is going to be incredible. So it's hard for me to let stuff like that go anyway. So I'm just not really messing with the testing. There's certain ones that I will, if like say I'm using a het and, I've got quad hets going in there, a triple visual going into it, I might have those tested just to make sure that last one's there.
Right.
Because I have a few that, are 100% het, double hets with 66% possible double hets on the backside. And
Right.
those I don't really care. You know, I mean, if we
Plus
hit them and they
pay
get,
off.
you know, faucets pay off, especially when you're making your own animals. You know, when you're buying animals, I mean, it can be different. I mean, I trusted a lot of big names early on, and man,
They burnt you, huh?
I got hammered hard.
But I paid $125 for a pair of faucets.
And
And
they
he,
proved the first year. I mean, I grabbed her out for it because I mean, why would you buy pets? You know, I mean, and one of them passed away. I mean, about a year in. The other one proved the very first day I got cut. You know, so I mean, there's always, and the thing was, we were at a reptile show. I never liked buying animals from shows, and secondly, the guy that was selling the animals was selling them for somebody else, so he didn't know anything about the animals. You know, and it's like, you know, why are you buying something from a third party that has no clue what, you know, this guy
well, it
done?
paid off.
And they did. They paid off.
So you gambled. You gambled a little bit.
And I did, and he done a great big happy dance when he cut that in.
Good.
But yeah, it's just, you know, I think it's a good thing and a bad thing. And there's always going to be pros and cons to everything.
Right.
As far as you testing for yourself, I think it's an amazing tool. You know, I mean, especially when, you know, somebody doesn't have the money to get into quad heads, and you buy a possum or a double head here and a double head here and breed them together, you know, you're making possible quad heads. Well, testing something like that, I think that's amazing. You know, if you're keeping it in your collection, because now you'll know.
Right.
So again, there's pros and cons to everything we do. And you know, as far as selling the animals and buying the animals, I just have a little bit of a problem with that side of it.
Right. Yeah, I understand that.
There's no proof to go with that animal at this point. And I think if we had some kind of a picture that comes with the card, you know, or all the paperwork, I think that would be the ideal thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe. Yeah.
So Bobby says, yeah, if you ever go to Earl's facility, the red dots on the tubs mean you can look, but you ain't getting it. And that is, he's like, nope. Absolutely.
Yeah, and don't open the tubs or don't close my tubs.
That's it.
Tubs are open for a reason.
What do you got
What do
there?
you have there?
He was on. He was like, don't touch
Grace,
that
what
tub.
do you have?
You said it like
So,
5 times, and you touched
This is Whiplash, the red-footed tortoise. He's probably my favorite creature in here, although we've got like 54 snakes back there. He's just like a dog, but with a shell on him. He is literally the
Right.
sweetest little reptile I've ever met. Look at him.
He
He's
is
so cute. Whenever I scratch him in his little hut over there, he just dances around like it's the best day of his life. So I make my point to come in here and just scratch him all over because he can do everything on his shell.
Tell him about the
How old is
Very
he?
cute.
I don't know how old is he. How old is he?
He's 7 now.
7?
7.
Wow. Yeah, he's a good 7-year-old boy. But today he gave me a high five. I had my finger through the little I don't know what you call it, the bars on top of his little house, and he just raised his little foot up as slow as can be and high fived me.
That is
That's
amazing.
very cute.
Yes, very cute. I'm gonna miss him when I'm off in college. So
Oh yeah. Yeah,
all
but
the
Joe will
time.
let you come visit him though.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure you'll be coming back and visit.
Oh yeah. All right, let's go.
It's gonna be a party at the school every weekend, Joe.
Right. All right.
Yeah, I know.
Little Karen's still up back there.
I am turning something.
Okay.
So, do you have any questions of the kiddos? You know, I was gonna say you talked about that live. If anybody gets a chance to go on the YouTube channel and watch that live, just fast forward all the way to the end. And there's some questions that are asked of the kids, but then the breeders that are there kind of share some like wisdom. And it was, I think, the best like 30 minutes of that whole video, just listening to that. But if you have any specific questions, Holly, Paul, to the kiddos.
Yes, I do.
Young adult.
Do you have reptiles at home yet?
I do. I have a gecko named Parthenax. He's a crested gecko. And I also work at our local nature refuge. So I like to say those are also my reptile babies. I
You have
work
2 geckos.
Forget about Duffy. I forget about Duffy.
Dougie, yeah. She has 2 geckos actually.
I have a
2 Cresties?
a chameleon gecko. You
Oh,
can-
really?
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool.
I love them. And then I work at our local nature refuge, which I'm actually doing an internship with right now, the Fort Worth Nature Center and Refuge. So I'm working with about 7 different species of turtles, a couple toads. We actually have a soft-shelled turtle that we think might be going to the local zoo for an exhibit.
Oh,
so we're
wow.
excited about that. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not. Super safe.
What are you planning on going to school for?
I was initially going in for wildlife conservation, but I changed my major. So I'm going to be going up to the University of Missouri for secondary education, specializing in biology.
Okay.
Girl,
That's great.
I'm high-fiving you right now.
Yeah, she can come back here and take my place when I leave.
Exactly. Now, what about you,
Yeah.
Grace?
So I don't have any reptiles at home. So whenever I come to school, it's sort of like, me adopting all the other reptiles, especially with Flash. But I know for sure I will have a red-footed tortoise, or maybe even a snake or a gecko when I'm older. But definitely I'll start with the tortoise. But I'm going to the University of Oklahoma in the fall, and I'll be majoring in professional writing. So
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
And they
it
both
is.
have a pretty big credit here at the Kingdom Python.
So I'm gonna use her to write my book.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna write That's great.
Yeah, not a book about me, because nobody wants to read about me. I am writing a book about with the red-eyed croc skinks.
So, yeah, Ren, I still would love a pair of those. I need to get with her and get something worked out with my sister over there.
How did you guys like getting into this like snake aspect of cleaning and all that stuff? I mean, you said you've been doing it for 2 years for free, but at the beginning when you got there, how did you like that?
So I wasn't ever expecting to get into this. I didn't even know this was a thing. I knew when I was touring the school, because I've only been here for 2 years. So I was here when the club first started. I was switching schools because I was looking for a better science education, because I knew that's what piqued my interest at the time. And I had been, at that time, working with this local nature refuge for 5 years now. So this is my 7th year working with that refuge.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. So I came in, I remember I was touring. We had just had the floods at the school. So we had some pipes burst due to snow events. And I came in and we were touring over in our lab, which is right across the way from this room. And I met Aowen first, which was our first mama. And I was just so intrigued by how much Dr. Farrar knew just in the whole science aspect of it, that it really helped the school kind of feel like a home to me. So when I got in and I heard that we were going to be doing stuff with snakes, or that there was going to be a reptile themed club, I was like, oh, that's down my line. I've been doing it for a couple of years now. I kind of want to branch out to the exotics, because I had only been working with Texas natives up until the last 2 years. Like, I had done some research on crested geckos and all that, but that was more YouTube, watching snake discovery, stuff like that. So I come in and it all goes downhill from there. We have about 3 meetings with the club, and then I'm like, I want to be president, because our president wasn't calling a lot of meetings. So I kind of took over.
It was a coup. It was a coup.
It was a coup. It was very much.
Kicked them right out.
It was a coup.
Yeah. We did a couple rescues. We did a bearded dragon rescue, which
very cool.
Sadly passed away recently.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just found out a couple weeks ago that she had, but she lived a wonderful life. She had made a best friend with a cat, and so she got to live happily in her last couple months. We did the bigger snake that Grace had out earlier. I don't know if you saw her, the shed that's around Dr. Farrar's neck. That's a snake called Athena that we did a rescue from a local school who had outgrown her pin, and she had been working with some little kindergartners, and the school was just not comfortable having her around anymore.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we rescued her. And
That's one thing I think that happens when you have animals in a classroom. People know, and then you just start getting. We have another normal that she might be something else too, but that we, teachers had a friend who had a friend who had a snake and didn't know what to do with it because they got it from their nephews, and it ended up here. It's a great snake. Thought it was a female too, but it wasn't.
Right. So girls, what do you have to say or any advice you would give to your upcoming freshman class who's going to be with Dr. Joe?
Yeah, I guess just like I suggest being open, because like whenever I first got into it, I was just like really indifferent to snakes. He just kind of put a snake in my hand, and I was like, okay, and now here I am.
And then the rat.
So, and then the whole thing with her putting a rat in my hands,
It's
and
a story.
it was a whole thing, but
It was hilarious.
just kind of just not like, you can have your opinion, but always be like, I guess flexible to change your opinion about something, because you can't really make a good opinion if you don't know what it's about. You need to learn. You need to put in the time to have the education part. You kind of have to just immerse yourself in it to fully understand it. And that's
Absolutely.
kind of why I'm here. I never thought I'd love snakes the way I do, and I'm just really gonna miss it all. So
Education is the key.
Yeah.
to
I would
everything.
suggest being open.
Yes. Well, that's really good because, as like Dr. Woodco was saying, it's mostly females coming in. Us females do have to have a little extra support when it comes to scary stuff because my mother won't look at a snake. She's like, nope, I'm done. And but my little sister, she loves them. So she's very young. But yeah, I mean, the support you can give them right now. I mean, I don't know if you guys are in the same school building, but reaching out to the younger ones and leaving a little knowledge,
They already have. I mean, Lena's known as the Snake Lady. And
you can tell. You can tell.
I like that, right? That's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, we do. I mean, they've been involved. We every year we do a STEAM night, and so we have a room with the snakes, and the kids are involved working with the little kids that come.
That's great.
We have field trips that the lower school comes up to my room, and I make it an opportunity for the kids in the clubs to come and help. And so they're teaching it. And it's great for me. I mean, I just love watching them interact with it. And so it's good. And the good thing about this whole thing, I think, was, I was learning too. I didn't know squat. It's a snake. I mean, I can tell you, that kind of thing, but I'm still learning it all. So that's fun. That, that helps me because I'm a lifelong learner as it is. So it's been really
thing
good.
about these girls is they were my elves at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Yes. Joe was telling me about that, and I thought that was so amazing. And it kind of made me jealous that I didn't know you right then. But I hope this year you reach out to me because I love doing stuff like this. But,
It was a lot of fun. We tried to get as many people involved as we could this year, and it was a lot of fun.
So
What-
I volunteer at the
So what
nursing
was
home
that-
where I live.
What do you do?
I volunteer at the nursing home where I live. So volunteer work, girls, I'm talking to you in the back, is also very special.
At one time, we would pick a family. It didn't matter where in the United States, and we would send money to them for Christmas and try to, help out a family in need. And a few years ago, I guess it's been about 5 years ago, I decided to try to help a family local to us. And we donated quite a bit to them. I mean, we even got them a big dinner for Christmas and the whole 9 yards. And so my neighbor across the street, it was his in-laws, and he come to me and he said, I hope you know that they bought drugs with that money. And so it kind of, it hit me kind of hard, And so I told her, I said, we're not doing this anymore. We're going to try something different. And so I built a mailbox. It looks like a candy cane pole, and it's got a big safe mailbox. And so any kids put letters in the mailbox, we would read the letters and we'd show up their house, right before Christmas and pass out presents. Well, this year we had an enormous amount of letters.
That's amazing.
But we had a lot of people donate too.
Yeah, so I reached out to local businesses and we had several $1,000s donated. We were able to buy a washer and dryer for a family, beds, dressers, bicycles. I mean, And then, of course, lots and lots of clothes. I don't know how many presents y'all passed out, but it was a bunch. I wrapped them all. Yeah, but I don't have a clue how many there was.
You wrapped a little hard out.
We put the little bows on and everything.
I mean, we had a 12-foot trailer and it was almost full.
It's crafty.
That's amazing.
These are with hot glue.
That's amazing.
Yes, he is.
So we just, and they come out. I dressed up as Santa Claus, and they helped pass out presents, and it was a lot of fun. And I was glad that we could branch out and bring more people in to help. Because I mean, anytime you can do something for somebody else, it warms your heart.
Yeah.
It does.
And these girls, you could see that they were having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it was after the live when we found out that he did that stuff. We were talking about it and said, wouldn't it be great if we could kind of get some kids together and help out in some way? And
yes,
this school is great about that. I mean, they have service hours. So many they have to do, and the kids really latch onto it because very few of them will do just the minimum.
Right.
There's all kinds of opportunities. And I don't even think you guys submitted hours for those things. So this was just from the heart. And it was good because I got my boys involved with it as well. My wife was there passing out poinsettias and stuff. So it was really fun. It was a good night. And it was a fun night. And then we got to see all the stuff.
Yeah, and then you started touching bins.
Then I was touching bins and got kicked out. No, I'm joking.
yeah, that's a big no-no.
No,
You go to
I did the same thing.
facility, don't
I
touch a
kicked the
bin.
bins out. See, he taught me something.
He was escorted to the door.
Nicely.
I was on the porch.
Nicely.
I tell people, come over. If you touch my tubs, you sit on the porch.
But he didn't tell me that. So I just saw
Well,
one
I
there.
thought he was an adult. He was.
Exactly.
I didn't know the rules. But now I know.
Oh, Joe, dude, like I'm new to this too. I knew that. Like, don't ever do
shut
that.
up, honey.
Don't ever.
Dang, look at here. I'm trying to raise money for him, and he's telling me to shut up on my own YouTube channel. Everybody, kids, I will be doing it for you, not him.
You probably have a lot more knowledge about the snakes than I do, for sure.
We're gonna put you in the
Oh
lab.
no, sir, I don't.
I think you do. I think you do. You've made a lot better decisions than I have. Do you ever see her collection? She's got a crazy collection. She hasn't shown them all, but have you shown everything?
No.
You were going to show me some stuff backstage one day, but you didn't.
Yeah, busy. Earl knows what I have. He knows some of the stuff I have because it comes from him.
It's all. I was gonna say half your collection might be all his.
Yeah, I'm an open book.
Yeah.
No, I get a lot of mine from Bob Vu, and I work real well with him. And of course, he's a good man, and I don't know,
Definitely.
he's just good to work with,
Definitely.
But I won't take up you guys' time any longer. I know it's a school night still, right?
I know. I gotta go home and go to bed so I can get up and go to school.
Past your bedtime. It's past my
You got a
bedtime.
bowl in the morning.
No, I'm not bowling.
We bowled too much today.
Yeah, we're done.
Oh yeah. Well, thanks everybody for being on, and
Thank
Earl
you
and
for
Ren,
allowing
thank y'all
us,
for the
yes.
surprise.
Yeah,
Oh, it was
Yes.
awesome. It was awesome meeting you guys too.
cool.
Yes.
Cool. Well, just
And,
don't forget to follow us on YouTube. We're going to start pushing out YouTube a little bit more. This the upcoming group of kiddos is going to work on that, and then
Yes.
of course,
Maybe you'll finally post the videos I made.
yeah, we have a lot of videos to post and stuff. So it's I don't know how to do all that stuff. So I'm waiting
Right.
to let them
It's
do it.
little
Oh,
by
I'm
little.
always
I
here
don't know
for
how to
you.
do much either. I gotta learn little by little. She's the one telling me too. She's
Yeah.
like, no, you gotta do it this way. No, that way.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right.
I'm trying to find some young ones to do all my stuff.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's smart. I know.
You're old, my foot.
I just hand my
Joe,
phone to him and tell him this is what I want it to do and this is what it's doing. Fix it.
Cool.
Hey, I'm the one with blonde hair. Okay, I'm old.
All right. Thanks again, Holly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll talk
guys.
to y'all later,
Oh,
man.
thank you.
All fees.